Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment, we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policymakers, heads of major organizations, and other dignitaries. It is my sincere hope that the knowledge brought in by this guest will help our community. Today, we have such guest, Roz Goldmacher. She is President and CEO of Long Island Development Corporation. Long Island Development Corporation is almost 32 years old organization helping a lot of people economically and financially. Let's meet Roz. Roz, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Raj. It's great to be here.
Thank you for taking time today. I know you for a long time, and you, by education, you're an attorney.
Yes,
Have you ever practiced law?
Yes, I did. I had a practice that represented credit unions on Long Island and around the metropolitan area. And we represented them when they dealt with their consumer clients and as they got into the business world with their credit lines and loans to companies.
And how long?
The law practice was for about almost 20 years. During the law practice, I got involved in economic development, and I eventually left the law practice to go full-time into the economic development world.
Wow, so right now you are with Long Island Development Corporation, Greater New York Development Corporation for...
I'm here since the beginning. I started it in 1980. And I won't tell you how old I was then. I was in elementary school, actually. And it was originally a volunteer situation, created it to help the community, and ultimately decided this is what I enjoyed most, and I came into it full time. Okay, so like you started it and then you grew it, and then there are so many different programs. You're helping a lot of people in terms of economic development, in terms of financing and all that. So we want to go over, share with people that exactly what is the function of LIDC and what are the different programs, and how do you help people? Okay, well, Long Island Development Corporation is a nonprofit, 501c3 organization. We're a family of economic development organizations. We make loans to small businesses under various government and private sector programs. We provide free pro bono counseling to entrepreneurs, startup existing companies to help them grow and thrive on Long Island. We also do seminars. We do about 45 seminars a year, chiefly targeted to entrepreneurs. We do have some programs that help nonprofits, so we provide counseling, loans, technical assistance to nonprofits as well. And we focus right now on Long Island, Nassau and Suffolk counties. For a while we were focusing throughout New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, tri-state. But a couple of years ago we changed our focus back to our original mission, which was Nassau and Suffolk. We make loans under various government and other programs. One of them is the New York State Targeted Loan Fund for Long Island, which is a loan fund sponsored by New York State Department of Economic Development, now called Empire State Development, and the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration. And this is a loan program that was created to help our defense-dependent manufacturers diversify with funding and technical assistance. And over the years, as we have less defense-dependent manufacturers, we've expanded the loan fund to include other targeted industries, industries that we want to grow on Long Island, that can coexist with our real estate prices and taxes and electric rates, can hire people at sustainable wages, and help our economy. Industries such as manufacturers of any type. We can also lend to wholesalers who are involved in biomedical, pharmaceutical, high-end electronics, computer graphics, software and hardware development, and electronics. We also have loans that we can make to companies involved in the transportation technology, in recycling and energy industries. These are all industries that we want to thrive here. We also added commercial fishermen, because commercial fishing is a huge industry on Long Island, and they were negatively impacted by pollution and regulation, so we added them to our list so that we could help them, so commercial fishing related. Recently we added minority and women-owned businesses, wholesale, which are certified by New York State as being minority or women-owned, because this was another group that we wanted to help. And last but not least, we have companies that are located in the old New York State Empire zones, or who are Excelsior certified by New York State. So these are all the types of industries that we feel should be growing here on Long Island, and these are our eligible companies. We lend up to $500,000 for any business purpose. They're fixed rate loans, low fixed rate, up to 20 years for capital assets, 7 to 10 years for working capital. We can subordinate to other lenders. Sometimes a borrower may need more money than we can lend, so part of it can come from their bank or credit union or other source, and then we'll lend part so that they have a full financing package that's affordable. A company is eligible if they fall into one of those industries, if they have less than 500 employees, if they're in Nassau or Suffolk, and they need to be in business for 1 year or more.
1 year or more.
1 year or more.
That's what I was going to ask
Yes. Well, it's not for startups.
Not for startups.
So that's the New York State Targeted Loan Fund for Long Island.
Right. And you've been doing this for how long? How long is this program?
This program's around for about 15 years.
15 years.
It's a revolving loan fund, so as we lend the money out and we get it back, we lend it out again. And it's accompanied by technical assistance. So if a company is commercial fishing related, we get Cornell Cooperative Extension to come in and do a whole study to see what they need to do and to help them accomplish it.
Right.
If they're a manufacturer, we have certain state programs that get involved to help them with manufacturing efficiency. We have the Small Business Development Centers, the Long Island Forum for Technology, and other organizations that provide technical assistance. We provide counseling and technical assistance. The whole idea is we don't just lend them the money, we help provide the means for them to be successful. And so it's really a unique program. It was created many years ago as a model for defense diversification throughout the country. And we're very happy with its performance here on Long Island. I feel we've helped quite a few companies with this.
Where the money comes from?
The money came initially from a grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce, Economic Development Administration. The grant was made to New York State. New York State added some money to that, and they gave the money to Long Island Development Corporation to administer. And so we administer this on behalf of New York State. And over the years, the pot has grown as the money has revolved.
Oh, so right now it's like running from the same capital.
Yes, it keeps revolving. There was one point where we did get some additional funding from New York State as a grant, and we added that to the pot. And it seems to be meeting the demand at the moment.
So if somebody, like somebody was fresh startup, they're not qualified now. 1 year has to be in business.
It's not a startup. However, keep in mind there are different ways to define a startup. If a company is creating a new division or bringing on a new activity under a separate corporation or separate entity, that's not necessarily a startup. We might be able to look at that as an existing company that is expanding. So people should still make the inquiry because there may be a way for us to qualify them.
Okay, and they are on your website, right?
Yes, if you go to www.lidc.org. That's www.lidc.org.
Okay. And the money is for 20 years. It's a 20-year loan.
It can go up to 20 years if it's capital assets, land, building, heavy-duty machinery.
Right.
If it is working capital, we can go 7 to 10 years. If it's a blend, we'll blend the term. The basic thing is to make it a term that's affordable for the borrower.
Okay, so term is flexible. It's a flexible term, basically.
Yes,
right?
But the rate is fixed. It will be fixed at the time.
Interest rate is fixed.
Yes.
Okay, and you basically, LIDC collects the money.
We do everything. We act we're the bank
Service.
in this case. We market the program, we package the loans, we close the loans, we service them, and if we have to, we liquidate them. So we collect the money and then we lend it out again.
Now you also do a lot of things with the SBA, Small Business Administration, right? SCORE program.
We've worked with the Small Business Administration for many years. I was privileged to serve on the national board of the Service Corps of Retired Executives, which is SCORE, a national organization affiliated with the U.S. Small Business Administration. It's a national organization of some 12,000 volunteers, both retired and currently working executives. I'm happy to be one of them.
Wow.
And they provide free services to help entrepreneurs realize their dreams. It's counseling, mentoring, business plans, workshops, Here on Long Island, we have the Long Island chapter of SCORE, and you can go to scorelongisland.org for information about their services.
And where are they located?
Their main office is in Hauppauge, along with the Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration, but they do have an office in Hempstead, in Patchogue, and several other places. And they will often bring their services to the local community. So LIDC has been involved with SCORE for many years. I head the Long Island chapter advisory board for SCORE, helping to raise funds for the Long Island chapter and help them put on seminars. We've also been involved with the SBA in other ways. Long Island Development Corporation was the first SBA 504 certified development corporation in the nation, which is a second mortgage program to help companies buy and renovate their own buildings in order for them to put roots down in the community, hire people, retain jobs. And the SBA 504, for a while, we ran throughout New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. We are no longer a certified development company under the SBA. When we changed our focus, we wanted to get back to our original roots and do real local economic development. So now we work with the certified development company for this area and help them to put deals together and service their loans.
Okay, so 504 you do no longer do that.
We're not a direct lender under that at the moment, but we do still package loans and help service loans for the current lender, which is the Empire Certified Development Corporation, based out in Hauppauge.
Oh, okay.
And we're also involved with SBA in other ways. We help refer people to them for federal certification, self-certification, to get government contracts, for procurement assistance. We put on seminars together with the U.S. Small Business Administration. So we're still very active with the SBA, as with other government agencies that are involved in small business lending and assistance.
Just to remind you that wherever this interview is being taken place, it's 504 loan. I took
Yes, it
504
is.
loan.
I'm happy that you mentioned that. Long Island Development Corporation was privileged to help you buy this building and to succeed as Infosys here on Long Island, creating and retaining jobs for our community. We're very proud of you.
And thank you. And I'm also very happy that I was a proud owner of this building, for 504 loan.
It's a wonderful example of entrepreneurship here on Long Island.
Right, yeah. So what other programs that LIDC has? Let's talk about that.
We have a microloan program. It's a small loan program for any type of small business in Nassau or Suffolk, both startup and existing. And we're one of the few microlenders that will actually lend to a pure startup. Most banks and even government lenders consider a business that is less than 3 years old to be a startup. We will lend to someone who has the idea, puts the business plan together, and is looking to start that business. So we'll lend to a startup as well as an existing company, but it is a small loan program. It's up to $10,000 for any business purpose. It's fixed rate, long term. We can combine with other lenders. So very often somebody may come to us, they need $20,000. So we'll go to one of the other micro lenders out there and we'll combine so that the borrower gets everything that they need on terms they can afford. LISBAC, as we call it, Long Island Small Business Assistance Corp, is the micro lender. That is also a nonprofit, 501c3. It's also a community development financial institution, CDFI, under the U.S. Treasury. And so as a CDFI, we are privileged to work under the rules of the U.S. Treasury as well as New York State in order to help make these loans. And these loans, as I mentioned, go up to $10,000. We can go out 10 years for working capital. We can go out to 20 years for capital assets, but typically if someone's borrowing $10,000, they're not buying a building with that money. Not here on Long Island.
I wish,
If they are, I want to know about more of this.
Exactly, where it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, but $10,000 is not really, a lot of money anyway.
It's not a lot of money, but for some businesses, it is a significant amount of money.
Is that right?
Absolutely. We've made loans ranging from $2,000 to a distributor of buckwheat products.
Interesting.
She distributes cereal, cookies, etc. In fact, she just copyrighted the name Move Over Granola. And that's going to be on all of her packaging. And because Dr. Oz mentioned the benefits of buckwheat on his program several times, the field has grown.
Wow.
And so now she's getting bigger and bigger. One of our biggest success stories in LISBAC was a company here, an envelope manufacturer and distributor. Used to be called Action Envelope. And the owner of that, Sharon Newman, had basically inherited the company from her husband, who passed away very suddenly. She had 3 young children to raise, and here she had this company, and to her credit, she started working on it, was doing well, but she recognized that she needed to be on the web in order to grow that company.
Right, right.
She didn't have $10,000 to create a website.
Okay, okay.
And because she was a small business, typical small business, her financials just didn't show the wherewithal to repay a loan of that type, and the banks just weren't going to do this.
Right.
She came to us. We believed in her. We lent her $10,000. She created her first website. Well, P.S. just recently, I think she created her latest website, which cost about $200,000, because now she's a company called envelopes.com, sells all over the world.
Wow.
Just bought her first building, 14,000 square foot building, has several hundred employees here on Long Island. And that was all because of a $10,000 loan.
Wow, that's
so
great.
$10,000 can be a significant amount.
I mean, I can see that. I never thought about this. I said, 10,000 is nothing in these days. For doing a business actually. But like if it is an existing business, then you also like if you want to do something specific, some specific thing that you can buy, borrow $10,000 and you can get away with that.
Anything can help these days.
Right, yeah. Roz, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Please stay with us. Hello, welcome back to Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. We're having a conversation with Roz Goldmacher, President and CEO of Long Island Development Corporation. Welcome back.
Thank you, Raj. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we already talked about money. I already got your money. Now let's talk about the seminars. What kind of seminars that you focus on and how it would help a small business?
Well, small businesses need all kinds of information and help.
Right.
And whatever assistance they can get, and especially if they can get it for free, it's a wonderful thing. The most popular seminar we have, financing for small business.
Okay.
People are always interested in capital access.
Right.
Obviously, if a small business can walk into its bank and get everything it needs on terms it can afford, it doesn't need the government-related programs. Unfortunately, small businesses very often can't just walk in and get what they need. So they need to know where the sources are and what the terms are and what they need to do to qualify for loans. So we run seminars ranging from myself speaking to panels talking about conventional financing from banks, credit unions, etc., talking about products available from government loan programs on the federal, the state, the local level, talking about how to qualify for these loans, what you can expect, what you can use the money for, all those details. In addition to financing for small business, another popular program is procurement, government contracts.
Right.
It's a way for small businesses to expand, to thrive and grow, to learn how to apply successfully to federal, state, and local government entities in order to get those contracts, that additional business. So government procurement, private sector procurement is also popular. Many large corporations and entities in this country have set-asides, goals, preferences to give a certain amount of business to small business, to minority-owned business, to women-owned business. So these small businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses need to learn how to take advantage of this source of revenue. And so we have seminars with representatives from the different government and private sector entities to talk about how to successfully qualify and get and perform on these contracts as a way to grow their businesses.
So, basically, if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm in my house thinking about something, there is a wealth of information out there, right? It's very difficult to find something that what exactly is going to benefit me because, time is money, everything, right? So how do I know that, okay, this seminar versus this seminar versus this seminar?
Well, obviously, right now you go on the internet, you Google, Yahoo, etc., and you can find a wealth of information.
Right.
In terms of the seminar sponsored by Long Island Development Corporation, you can go on our website under the calendar of events.
Okay.
That's www.lidc.org.
Okay.
Look at the calendar of events, and we have our seminars there. You can also look at the calendars in local publications such as Networking Magazine,
Okay.
Long Island Business News,
Okay.
Even Newsday publishes a calendar of business events.
Okay.
So these are some local sources.
Mm-hmm.
You can also look at other agencies out there that put seminars together on a regular basis. Groups such as SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives.
Right.
www.scorelongisland.org. And they run seminars throughout the year. There are also groups called the Small Business Development Centers, SBDCs, which is a joint effort of the U.S. Small Business Administration and New York State SUNY system. There's one in Farmingdale, one in Stony Brook, with satellite offices all over Long Island. And if you look at their websites, then you can get the calendar of seminars that they also conduct. And very often they'll list seminars from other organizations. If you belong to a trade association, check out the trade association newsletter or website. They very often are involved in creating and sponsoring and participating in seminars that might be useful. Chambers of Commerce. Here on Long Island we have many local chambers of commerce. We have coalitions of chambers like the Nassau Coalition of Chambers of Commerce. And they sponsor seminars and get involved, or will at least publish a calendar of these events. You can also look to your county and or town departments of economic development. They will often on their websites publish calendars of events, of seminars useful for the business community. And the supervisors' offices in the towns, or the county executive's office. You can also look at the Office of Minority and Women's Affairs in each county. They are involved with seminars. If you're a women-owned business, there are groups such as NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners, Women Economic Developers of Long Island, Long Island Center for Business and Professional Women. There are other trade groups like ACIT, Advancement for Commerce, Industry and Technology, Long Island Association, Hauppauge Industrial Association, HIA, LIFT, Long Island Forum for Technology. All of these are Long Island-based economic and community development organizations that get involved in helping entrepreneurs with seminars, technical assistance, and we all cooperate with each other to make sure that we leverage our resources for the benefit of our small business population.
Good. So, like your event are broadcasted other places also?
Through other organizations as well. I'm a member of a group, for example, called LIWA, Long Island Women's Agenda, which is a coalition of women's groups. So our events are on their calendar as well. You can also look at the LIDC website under Resources, Long Island Resources, and there's a list of all these organizations with the contact information so that you can find that there.
So let's talk about technical assistance. What is that area? How can one benefit from that?
Well, the technical assistance offered by Long Island Development Corporation varies depending on the needs of the client. And basically it's taking advantage of the expertise and the 32 plus years experience of Long Island Development Corporation and its staff and its board of directors and its volunteers. So, for example, we had a small business come in the other day, a very small company that was in need of help, computer help, to design their basic computer system. So we used one of our LIDC staff to go in and help them. And hopefully as they grow, they'll be able to afford the services of companies like Infosys. But right now we were able to help them with that. We had another company that needed some marketing assistance. So I have an assistant who's excellent at that, and she helped them design a flyer, got them together with Constant Contact to get out some email blasts, helped them with some brochures. We had another person who needed help with their accounting system, to choose an accounting system and to implement it. My chief financial officer went in and helped that company to do that. I often sit with people and give them resources, benefits of my legal experience, my lending experience, economic development experience, and really just advise them, here's who you should talk to, here's what you should do, here's what I think you should consider. And as I said, it depends on the needs of the client.
But that's very interesting. I mean, you cover a lot, lot ground basically.
We really
somebody
are.
Who, that's many things. Like not only like marketing or financing, but you say, okay, somebody needs a
computer legal,
design,
etc.
design.
We also try to help people network. We have a huge list of former and current borrowers and people that we've helped over the years. So if someone comes into me needing these services, or maybe it's a possible joint venture with a composite manufacturer, we'll get at our list and say, okay, here are the people that you can talk to that maybe you can work with. learn from, joint venture with. We really try to let people learn how to network with their fellow companies and entrepreneurs here on Long Island because it helps everyone grow their business.
So it's like, it's the important thing is for any entrepreneur or, just pick up the phone.
Absolutely.
Or send an email.
Absolutely. You can't just sit in your home. I know nowadays a lot of entrepreneurs are in front of that computer in their home. You have to get out there. You have to network. You have to find the resources.
Right.
You have to talk to people.
Right.
In order to find those resources. And you can go to professional counselors, you can go to friends, family, etc. But you have to be out there.
Who is the first point of contact over there, LIDC? Let's say,
The first point of contact, just call and almost anyone in our office can help you. Okay. Of course, you can always ask for me, Roz Goldmacher.
Okay.
I will always pick up the phone if I'm there. If not, you can leave a message, I'll get back to you. But you don't have to wait.
Okay.
We have Doris, who's our marketing guru and seminar guru.
Okay.
We have Net, who's our financial guru. We have Bill, who's our computer person, software and hardware. We have Nicole, who's great with databases and other clerical challenges of a small business. We have Walter. Walter is our lender. He has a 40-plus year background in commercial lending for several banks. So when it comes to lending or anything related to that for a business, he's our expert and he can provide you contacts as well. We have Marcia, who's someone who's got a strong background in loan servicing and payments and dealing with the banks and other sources and is good at connecting people. And we have Kristen, who processes our loans and is also good at connecting people with other resources. And everyone in our office knows who to go to and how to connect you. And if we can't help you, we're not afraid to say no, but we try to help.
But you know somebody who can help. Basically.
Usually we do.
Right. I mean,
simply
that's
because we've been
thing.
here for so
right,
long.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you also help in developing a business plan for the people.
We will help in developing a business plan. Right. We are not a hands-on business development plan agency. There are groups that will do that. The small business development centers, the Service Corps of Retired Executives, they will sit down with you with that business plan. What we will do is refer you to them and we'll be happy to review your business plan. Once you have that business plan, we'll look at it, tell you what we think, what needs to be added, what needs to be changed, because we look at it from a lender's perspective. What do we need to see? The other thing is that if you are looking to develop a business plan, develop your business, improve your business, there are two entities here on Long Island that can help you do that through a series of trainings. The Entrepreneurial Assistance Centers, sponsored by New York State and the SUNY system. There's one at Hofstra University and there's one at Suffolk Community College. And you can enroll in that. You go through a series of trainings, and at the end of the day, you have a business plan. And they will help you shop that business plan to look for financing and other resources. So that's the Entrepreneurial Assistance Centers at Hofstra and at Suffolk Community College.
Interesting. There's a lot of help available outside. It's just a matter of reaching out. And
it's a matter of reaching out.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. What are other programs that you think it's important for viewers to know?
Well, I think that there are many state programs. For example, if a small business is looking to buy a building, not only should they be talking to their bank, but possibly considering the U.S. Small Business Administration 504 program. New York State has a program called the Job Development Authority, which is a second mortgage program that can combine with these others. New York State has a program specifically for minority and women-owned businesses right now. It's the Minority and Women-Owned Business Loan Fund, and it can provide a significant amount of money for a small business, which is minority or women-owned, in order to accomplish their business objectives. And there are other special programs that the state has. The State Department of Economic Development, called Empire State Development, can provide information on that, or you can go on New York State's Small Biz website. The counties have offices of minority and women affairs. They can provide resources. There are groups called the Industrial Development Agencies. Each county has one, several towns have them. And they can provide real estate tax abatements, sales tax abatements, mortgage tax abatements for companies involved with real estate out here. And so if a company is looking to buy or build a building, they should consider that. The departments of economic development in the towns and the counties will be able to put them in touch with that resource so that they get the benefit of everything they need. Another thing companies should consider is utilities. the LIPA and National Grid,
Okay.
and the local utilities in Rockville Center, in Greenport, in
Freeport.
and Freeport, right,
Freeport,
will provide, have their own utilities to provide assistance, and many of these utilities have special programs
For minority and women?
for women, and for other small businesses within their territory,
Okay.
ranging from abatements to reductions to free energy audits. So you definitely should inquire of your utility if there's some assistance that they can provide to you.
So all this program for minority and women, you have to be certified first.
Pretty much.
Right,
and I always suggest that the first certification you go for is New York State.
New York State.
New York State, it's a free process. It can be involved and it can be lengthy, but you should definitely go for it, because many entities other than New York State itself do accept the New York State certification as minority and women owned.
Okay.
And you have to be 51% or more owned and operated by a woman or minority. It has to be legitimate. And you have to be in business for 1 year or more. But you should definitely go for that certification. And there are other certifications out there as well that you might want to pursue after that.
I mean, they are pretty simple process, right? I mean, it's not that complicated process.
I don't think it's complicated. It's thorough. One thing you have to learn as an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to produce that paper.
Okay.
You know, eventually it'll be all electronic, but right now there's still paper involved, and you have to keep your records, and you have to be willing to produce them, because that's just the way that we operate at the moment.
And every other, like for example, county and all this, they have their own certification program.
Yes, some of them have their own certifications, which are similar.
Which is similar, basically.
Yes, the federal government, it's a self-certification process.
Okay, how does it work?
And that you can get help from the SBA, from their procurement division.
Okay.
It's actually an extremely simple process to obtain your, what they call your cage code, et cetera, and get your certification. But that's basically you saying that here's what I am, and it's self-certification.
So do you have to do any paperwork for that?
There's, that may all be electronic right now. You might know more about that than I do. But in addition to the SBA, you can go to the Procurement Technical Assistance Center at LaGuardia Community College.
Okay.
And they can help you with those certifications as well as with the federal certification. You can also talk to the New York State Office of Women and Minorities. They'll help you with certification. Go to SCORE, the SBDCs, they can all help you with this process.
Yeah, you know what, Roz, I just keep the bundle ready, actually, you know, because application is an application. You fill out application, and they all want the same.
They all want the same thing. Basically, they're looking for what's the history of the company, who owns it,
history, and corporation, and certificate of incorporation, and
3 years financials or tax returns.
Everything is
personal financial, because you can't separate a small business from its owners. And all of those things are necessary.
Yeah, so I keep it ready. As soon as I want something, I just go. Boom.
Keep it on your thumb drive, and you can even do it from your phone, right?
There you go. That's how I do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for information, and it's a lot of good information for the viewers. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Raj. It's been a pleasure, and I hope that we were of some help, and that your viewers can thrive and grow here as small businesses on Long Island.
That's all we want. Long Island is a large family for me.
Yes, it is, and growing.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, you can email me at rajmitv@gmail.com. Again, that's rajmitv@gmail.com. If you want to view our prior shows, you can go on youtube.com/Infosys International. Until then, next time, thank you. Thank you.